Hello guys, I'm April, and today we will going to talk about the language policy of three Asian countries including China, Japan, and Philippines. China is a multi-ethnic, multi-language, and multi-script country of 56 nations, more than 100 languages, more than 10 written scripts. The predominant language in China is simplified Chinese, which is divided into 7 major dialect groups that differ from each other to such a degree that dialect from different regions can often be mutually unintelligible. The law of the People's Republic of China on the standard spoken and written Chinese language is the first national law on language. The law sets the language status of Putonghua and Standard Chinese characters as the national general language. The language policy embodied in the language law is to promote Putonghua and implement Standard Chinese characters. The language law stipulates that every citizen has the right to learn and use the national general language, and the staff members involve state organs and people organizations, news media, education, public services have the obligation to learn and use the national general language. The language law also emphasizes that all ethnic groups have the right to use and develop their own spoken and written language. Language policy at national level. Language law is the attitude towards social language issues held by the nation and the government. The two fundamental national policies embodied in language legislation are the state popularizes Putonghua and promotes standardized Chinese characters, and all ethnic groups have the freedom to use and develop their own spoken and written language. Language policy in China and regional level. Regulations were put forward to popularize Putonghua and implement the standardized Chinese characters, as well as to achieve language harmony. They aim to scientifically protect local language resources, contribute to local economic and social development, and provide better language services. Among them are Shanghai Regulations for the implementation of the People's Republic of China on the standard spoken and written Chinese language, issued by the Shanghai People's Congress. Promoting Putonghua and implementing standard written characters had been the main focus of Shanghai language regulation to improve Shanghai citizens' proficiency in the use of national standard spoken and written language. Developing main dialects to hand down history and culture for the basic content of managing language life in Fujian province. The concept of linguistic resources and awareness of language conservation were strengthened in Inner Mongolia region. At vocational level, on January 15, 1998, the regulations on advertising language management were issued by the State Administration of Industry and Commerce of China, the SARF. On March 16, 2005, Notice of the State of Radio, Film and Television on strengthening the management of subtitles, broadcast and TV programs was issued by the SARF. And on March 15, 2006, the State Food and Drug Administration, the SFDA, issued regulations on drug insert sheets and package labels. These regulations were put forward to monitor the actual state of the use of the language. According to Gottlieb 2012, this national monolingual ideology requires all Japanese citizens to speak Japanese as the first language, despite the considerable population that speak an indigenous language, such as Okinawans in the south and the Ainu in the north. The Philippines. The need for translation between and amongst the major language of the Philippines remains an important goal for improving communication options. Recent initiatives such as the Mother Tongue-based multilingual education, MTB, MLE, have served to assert the importance of regional languages. The 1987 Philippine Constitution promulgated Filipino as the national language, which was to be developed and enriched based on existing Philippine and other languages. Article 14 mandated the use of both Filipino and English as official language of communication and media of instruction. The following policies exist to promote bilingual education in the Philippines. In 1987, an executive order was issued that called for the development of children's bilingual competency through the intellectualization of Filipino and utilization of English as an international language. The Commission on Higher Education's new General Education Curriculum, which is CHED, states that the medium of instruction ought to be consonant with the title of the course. This is in consonance with the bilingual education policy. The preferred language of instruction for humanities and social sciences course should be Filipino. Per the order, both shall serve as language of instruction and therefore be taught as language subjects in all levels of education. The 1987 Philippine Constitution appears wanting of any legal provisions that could potentially set standards or guidelines for translation practice in the country. It is only mentioned in the mandate to translate the Constitution itself. This Constitution shall be promulgated in Filipino and English and shall be translated into major regional languages, Arabic and Spanish. Article 14, Section 8, the bilingual education policy eventually gave way for the NTB-MLA framework, which sets regional language, although considered an auxiliary language, as the medium of instruction across all subjects from grade 1 to 3. While there remains a lack of any veritable policy for translation, challenges highlighted the core importance of translation in the development of instructional materials.